Gianni Versace was shot on July 15, 1997, in broad daylight on the front steps of his Miami Beach mansion. The fashion designer had just returned from his routine morning walk to a nearby cafe. The shocking murder stunned the fashion world and the public alike. The killer was Andrew Cunanan, a 27-year-old man already on the FBI's 10 most wanted list. He approached Versace without warning and shot him twice at point-blank range. The brutal nature of the crime raised immediate suspicions of a targeted killing. Cunanan had already killed 4 other men before murdering Versace. His cross-country killing spree had begun 3 months earlier in Minneapolis. Authorities believed Versace was his final and most high-profile victim. Born in Reggio Calabria, Italy, on December 2, 1946, Gianni Versace grew up surrounded by fashion. His mother was a dressmaker who operated a small sewing business, where he learned the basics of design. By the time he was in his 20s, he had moved to Milan to work in fashion full-time. Versace launched his first signature collection in 1978, quickly becoming known for his bold use of color and prints. He challenged the minimalist trends of the time, introducing sensuality and drama to his runway shows. His innovative designs earned him celebrity clients and international acclaim. The murder occurred at Casa Casuarina, Versace's lavish Miami Beach villa. The mansion, designed in the Mediterranean Revival style, had become a symbol of his success. In the years following his death, it would become both a memorial and a tourist destination. Cunanan fled the scene immediately after the shooting, disappearing into the crowded Miami streets. Witnesses provided inconsistent descriptions, complicating the police investigation. A massive manhunt involving local and federal agencies was quickly launched. Although rumors circulated that Cunanan and Versace knew each other, no conclusive evidence ever proved a direct connection. Investigators examined their social circles, but no substantial link was found. Some speculated that Cunanan had been stalking Versace for years. Cunanan's killing spree started with the murder of Jeffrey Trail, a former Navy officer and friend. Trail was bludgeoned to death with a claw hammer in Minneapolis. His body was found wrapped in a rug in David Madsen's apartment. David Madsen, Cunanan's former lover, became his second victim. After days on the run together, Madsen was shot near a lakeside in Minnesota. Authorities believed he was killed either out of fear or to prevent him from turning Cunanan in. Cunanan's third victim was Lee Miglin, a prominent Chicago real estate developer. Miglin was tortured and murdered in his garage, in what police believed to be a premeditated act. The brutal nature of the crime shocked even seasoned detectives. William Reese, a cemetery caretaker in New Jersey, was the fourth victim. Cunanan killed him to steal his pickup truck, which he then used to drive south. Reese's death appeared to be purely opportunistic. As Cunanan traveled the country, he used fake identities and stole money and credit cards. He avoided detection by switching locations often and blending in with local communities. Despite being wanted for multiple murders, he managed to evade capture. By the time he reached Miami, Cunanan had been on the run for over 2 months. He checked into a hotel under a false name and lived off stolen funds. Inexplicably, he stayed in the city for weeks before killing Versace. The murder of Versace sent shockwaves through the fashion industry, which was already dealing with the losses of other prominent figures. The glamorous world he represented was suddenly intersected by a grim and violent reality. It highlighted how fame did not shield one from danger. Gianni Versace's funeral was held in Milan at the city's majestic cathedral, the Duomo. It was attended by thousands, including Princess Diana, Elton John, and fellow designers. The event marked a solemn farewell to a fashion legend. After the murder, authorities focused on tracking down Cunanan's whereabouts. They suspected he was still in the Miami area, but leads were scarce. Police urged the public to remain vigilant. Cunanan had been hiding on a houseboat owned by a German caretaker. It was docked less than 3 miles from Versace's home. For days, he remained undetected, watching news coverage of the manhunt. On July 23, 1997, 8 days after Versace's murder, Cunanan took his own life. He used the same gun he had used to kill his previous victims. Police found his body after hearing a single gunshot from the boat. The owner of the houseboat had reported a suspicious break-in. SWAT teams surrounded the area and cautiously entered the vessel. They discovered Cunanan's lifeless body, along with personal items and newspapers. The gun used in all 5 murders was traced back to Jeffrey Trail. Cunanan had stolen it early in his spree and used it consistently. It became a key piece of evidence in connecting the murders. With Cunanan dead, the investigation into his motives largely stalled. The FBI and Miami police closed the case without identifying any accomplices. They concluded that he acted alone and without a clear motive. No suicide note was found aboard the boat, deepening the mystery surrounding Cunanan's motives. Speculation ranged from jealousy to a desire for fame. Psychologists have analyzed his actions but offered no definitive answers. Some experts believe Cunanan was driven by narcissistic rage. He may have felt betrayed by former friends and lovers. Others theorize he was suffering from untreated mental illness. Versace's longtime partner, Antonio D'Amico, was present in the house during the murder. He was among the first to find Gianni lying on the steps bleeding. The trauma affected him deeply for years afterward. After Gianni's death, his sister Donatella Versace assumed creative control of the fashion house. She had already played a significant role in the brand's development. Under her leadership, the company slowly regained its footing. The Versace brand initially struggled following the tragedy. Sales dipped and public perception wavered. It took years of strategic reinvention for the fashion house to reclaim its former glory. The assassination inspired a wave of books and documentaries. True crime authors delved into Cunanan's psyche and the glamour of Versace's world. The contrast between the two men fascinated readers. Television networks aired specials and retrospectives about the case. Networks around the world recounted Cunanan's path of destruction. Each program attempted to understand why Versace became his final victim. In 2018, FX released The Assassination of Gianni Versace, American Crime Story. The series starred Edgar Ramirez as Versace and Darren Criss as Cunanan. Criss's chilling performance earned him an Emmy Award. The show was based on Maureen Orth's book Vulgar Favors. The book painted Cunanan as a fame seeker with deep psychological issues. Its claims stirred controversy and debate. The Versace family publicly denounced the series and the book. They stated that it was a work of fiction, not fact. The family refused to participate in its production. Gianni Versace was known for blending classical art with modern fashion. He often incorporated motifs from Greek and Roman history. His work elevated fashion to a form of high art. He built an empire based on innovation, risk-taking, and celebrity culture. His runway shows were theatrical events, attended by supermodels and rock stars. Versace helped define 1990s fashion. Unknown to many, Versace had previously battled a rare form of cancer. He underwent treatment privately and made a full recovery by 1996. He kept his illness secret from the public. Versace was preparing to expand his empire at the time of his death. He had plans for new boutiques and collections. His sudden murder halted all forward momentum. Andrew Cunanan was a chameleon, able to ingratiate himself with wealthy men. He fabricated stories about his background and education. His charm masked a deeply troubled individual. He told friends he had attended elite schools and came from money. In reality, Cunanan had dropped out of college and was often broke. His life was a series of escalating deceptions. Cunanan was deeply concerned with status and aging. He feared losing his appeal as he grew older. This anxiety may have contributed to his violent breakdown. Investigators believe Cunanan may have targeted Versace as a symbol. Versace represented everything Cunanan wanted: fame, wealth, and influence. Killing him was a grotesque form of statement. Law enforcement agencies were criticized for their handling of the case. Cunanan had slipped through their fingers multiple times. There were concerns about communication failures between jurisdictions. The LGBTQ+ community in Miami felt vulnerable during the manhunt. Rumors spread quickly, stoking fear and uncertainty. The case drew attention to issues of safety and mental health. Some questioned whether Cunanan had help or shelter in Miami. Despite intense scrutiny, no accomplices were found. The mystery around his time in the city remains. Casa Casuarina, the mansion where Versace was killed, later became a hotel. Tourists visit daily to photograph the famous steps. It has become both a landmark and a somber reminder. Today, the Versace brand thrives under the direction of Donatella and a strong team. It continues to be a symbol of luxury and bold design. The name Versace remains iconic worldwide. Fans and admirers still leave flowers and notes at the mansion. Versace's legacy is honored by designers and artists alike. His influence is visible across fashion and pop culture. The murder of Gianni Versace remains one of the most infamous crimes of the 1990s. It intersects celebrity, crime, and tragedy in a haunting way. Decades later, the story continues to captivate and sadden the world.